Hey, Chris Lipe here with another Julian Casablancas video. Congratulations, all of you who have asked for lots of Julian videos. I now have the most videos on a single singer in Julian Casablancas The Strokes videos. Even more than Chris Cornell, isn't that weird? Well, in this song, One Way Trigger, Julian displays some incredible clean, mixed voice and juxtaposes that with some of his really tender vibrato and falsetto or pure head voice. So I'm excited to get into this with you. It's been super fun cherry-picking different examples from Julian's long career as a vocalist and seeing that transformation and analyzing what's going on. Whether Julian's really thinking about some of this stuff or not, he really has gone through a really neat journey with his voice. If you'd like to explore more about the flexibility of your own voice, if you'd like to see what it can really do and pull out sounds that you never thought you could pull out of your voice, click the link below and join my free voice course. And there's lots of ways we can work together from there. What we've come to know and love from Julian's style is he's right on the tip of his head, chest voice, and going into his head voice. And he's doubling it here, so you have this extra subdued layer, the way it's sitting in the mix. But if you experiment with that in your own voice, I'm gonna be up here, this is the top of my quiet chest voice, and then I'm gonna go up a little bit. Now I'm in my head voice, now I'm in my chest voice, chest, head, chest. And because you're singing quietly enough, it's really easy to bridge that gap between what would otherwise be an ugly break. Chest, head. When I'm giving you too much pressure in my chest voice and then going up to my head voice, which in this posture can't take that much pressure, you get that crack. But he's really careful about using vibrato and pressure support in a way that helps him blend right around that what would otherwise be the very ugly break area. But it gets better in this song. This song's incredible in terms of how he really pushes higher with more support. So if we're really highlighting that, head, chest, but he masks that or travels it because of the pressure and that tendency to blend at low volumes. You asked. He has that wonderful speech level engagement at the beginnings of some of those notes. It's neat I love the way he arranges his melodies because he'll be up here and then the dynamics won't change that much, but then he'll go down into his speech level and he'll scoop up to those notes. It creates this really approachable contrast between his muttering upper chest, lower head voice, and then his definitive speech level resonance. Really engaging. Here's another flavor we haven't seen as obviously in some of his newer stuff, and it certainly wasn't there in some of his older stuff. But there's a million reasons to leave. We've got this sense that he's, again, on the edge of his chest voice, but he's created this squeeze. He's compressing. Try that. There's a million reasons to leave. Like you're holding back a bunch of air, but you're not going gritty. You're not going, and grunting, you're just holding back enough air to make it sound a bit squeezed. And at the same time, you're allowing yourself to be pretty nasal. But there's a million reasons to leave. This creates this whiny, super hyper nasal sound that this posture sets you up for being able to go way higher. Clean, but brash. Not chest voice, not head voice, not this, but there's a million reasons to leave. Now, if I have this squeeze, I'm holding back air, and I'm whining, I'm being nasal. My tongue and my soft palate are kind of close together, like that, which then forces the resonance through my nasal cavity. Now I can whine all the way up here, like that, which is what we'll hear him do in a minute. This, for many people, unlocks mixed voice, clean mixed voice in their voices. Find a job and find a friend are in good, well-supported head voice. Find a job, find a friend. He's got really good balance. This isn't find a job, find. Now that's different than what he does on the lines to follow. Listen. Well-supported head voice, and then listen what he does on Find a Dog. Fine! Very different posture. It's not fine! Find a dog! That's very different. It feels different, it sounds different, and it comes from that whine, high pressure, compressed, bright, brash awareness of pushing the sound through your nasal passage as you're compressing. It gives you that whine. Fine! He does it again. Find a dream. Head voice and shut it down. Mixed voice. He does a really good job of tricking you into thinking one might be the other, but listen for that brash, compressed sheen on the top of it. And then as you experiment with your voice, take note of how it feels differently. One is and one is find a dream, find a dream. And as you're dialing things in, let your voice crack in and out so that you can get the difference in sensations. Your voice won't crack when you're in head voice, in a pure head voice, like it does when you're dialing in this clean mix. All right, let's move on. Again, you'll be unafraid. Did you hear how it started a little bit darker? He's got this sort of like upside down triangle thing going on where he's darker down here. Very key to observe things like this. If you can do this kind of thing in your own voice, and as you get higher, you get brighter and more compressed and clean and nasal, you will be able to do some of what he's doing, and you'll get some of these sensations and feels in your voice as well. I wish that There it is again. This is not tell me, which is the posture he has down here when he's talking like this, singing like this. Tell me, no. Tell me. Yeah. You can start to hear and see in my voice even what's happening when we make those sort of transitions. La 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 la. There's a little bit of noise, little bits of distortion. You can hear that in his voice as well. Show me. Show. Subdued. You asked me to stay. Very different character. You asked me to stay, but there's a million reasons to leave. I'm exaggerating this, but not by much. This is what makes his voice so compelling. Show me what to say. Show me what to say. Pure head voice. Show me what to be. Pure head. That note is way weightier. Fine than fine. Just practice that, saying the same note or saying the same word over those two different notes. Find one is head voice. Fine. And then you go up a whole step. Fine. And then you're bridging it with that extra pressure, nasality, compression. That is mixed voice, and it comes from having the million reasons to leave. Fine. A million reasons, not like this down here. How brash that is. So much energy behind it. Now, because it's back in the mix and because he's using head voice around it, they've got lots of audio compression on him, this stuff is really squashed into what we hear in terms of the dynamic range of the recording. But it's very different when you are thinking about just the vocal approach in terms of the volume and brashness. But different than this. And I want to say that these resonance changes and different approaches and characters that I'm pulling out of his voice, it's not just because he's going higher and then going lower, because he has the million reasons right here, and he's got the very tender head voice at the beginning. Julian has an incredible way of choosing how he wants to portray himself emotionally and on a connected level in any area of his range. That's what makes his voice so compelling. And this song, I have to say, out of all the ones I've evaluated so far, One Way Trigger, I think demonstrates these many shifts and many characters the very best. Thanks again for continuing to watch Julian videos on the channel. As long as you keep watching them and requesting them, I'll keep making them. We'll see you for more.